If 90 days could make the world literate, would you not do it? Hi, I'm Sunita Gandhi from India. I come from a family of educators running the world's largest school, which has served as a laboratory for my own research work in education, along with the slums and villages of Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh, which is India's most populated state. About 70% of the children in low and middle income countries cannot read since the pandemic. Unfortunately, the situation was far from ideal even before the crisis. This figure stood at 57% in 2019. We need to ask ourselves, how is it that hundreds of millions of children are unable to read even after completing 5 years of schooling? Progress towards closing the FLN gap has not been impressive. Children in grade 5 today require FLN skills today, not in 2030. We are facing a global literacy emergency. This requires immediate action. The question is what? We believe a key factor in this crisis is the lack of a transformative pedagogy. Outdated teaching methods are holding back the future of the majority of the world's children. We rarely question these methods we use to teach literacy and numeracy. Notably, there are two major approaches to teaching the skill to read. These are whole language, which is prevalent worldwide, and there is phonics, which research indicates is more effective. However, neither of these methods are producing results quickly enough to address the literacy emergency. After 8 years of experimentation and refinement, we have developed a program called ALPHA, Accelerating Learning for All. ALPHA is 10x faster. Children and adults are becoming both literate and numerate in under 45 days. Compare this with 3 to 5 years in current education. ALPHA fosters by design the 6C skills of collaboration, communication, critical thinking, creativity, character, and world citizenship. It is also a step towards an education for climate change, along with low to no carbon footprint. Children use existing materials such as beans, stones, leaves. They get climate conscious and they are resourceful in the process. ALPHA does not rely upon unknown sight words. It also does not teach letters and sounds in isolation. Learning to read begins with the identification of known pictures and their corresponding first sounds. Children add sounds to make complete words from the very beginning. They work in pairs and take turns to make new words. We have discovered that the children learn faster this way. Without the need for letter recognition, children save 2 years or more. They get to read some 400 words within the first 15 days of ALPHA. This sustains the children's interest in reading at higher levels. An ALPHA teacher acts primarily as a galvanizer. For example, they pair up children randomly. They provide clear explanations for the tasks that the children need to perform in their pairs. The paired learning approach is well known. However, there are differences. Firstly, in place of occasional pairing, the children in ALPHA learn exclusively in pairs. Secondly, the program's materials are tailored to paired learning, with small modules that scaffold from simple to complex and that build on prior knowledge of the child. Thirdly, ALPHA utilizes prompts for each module that encourage deeper engagement, resulting in increased time on task and superior learning outcomes. The children are able to generate and solve a far greater number of questions and learn from each other when they're given the agency to co-create their own learning. This stands in stark contrast to the traditional approach of teacher-directed learning, which limits their agency. Such active engagement fosters greater understanding and retention, and the learning continues beyond the classroom. The outcomes are visible very quickly. We took a group of 5 to 7-year-olds to the Press Club of India in Delhi, where they read that day's newspapers in both Hindi and English. The children's ability to read the difficult language of the newspapers at such a young age surprised everyone present. Field results from the Alpha program are documented in a recent book by Harvard Graduate School of Education. In the first randomized control trial for government schools, the effect size was 0.23 for grade 3 and a whopping 0.89 for grade 5 just after 40 days. This exceeds the year-on-year learning gains commonly found in schools. The Alpha process is 10 times faster, which allows the class to focus on the process of discovering and learning rather than rushing through the syllabus. The Alpha app provides free access to the Alpha learning materials with a low or zero carbon footprint. The thin booklets use only 1/10 of the pages found in traditional textbooks and workbooks. The Literacy Now app has been adopted by 5 million children of Uttar Pradesh. Alpha is currently available in 30 languages of the world. Following the launch of Alpha in early 2022, we were invited by the Ministry of Education of India to implement the program last year in 2 low-performing districts of the country. This was a significant achievement for us. We were able to expand from 1 district to 15 districts in Uttar Pradesh and from 2 states to 6, and even to a country level in the Maldives, all in 2022. This demonstrates that Alpha can be successful at scale. Alpha's early successes have allowed us to forge partnerships with various organizations globally. This includes All Africa Students Union and the Forum for African Women Educationists, Teachers Without Borders, Dubai Cares, and World Climate School, among others. The Alpha program is expanding its impact through massive open online training, or MOOT, which has been highly effective according to 93% of respondents. 99% said they had takeaways from the MOOT. The program is now training the trainers globally so that they in turn can offer MOOT to others in their own languages and countries and in the physical settings also. We are encouraging countries to participate in a 45 days to FLN challenge. This involves dedicating just 2 periods a day for 45 days to FLN. This equates to some 10% or less of a year's academic timetable, but one which can leverage the rest of education. We conducted the first Global Policy Makers Conclave to discuss system-wide reforms. This approach garnered endorsements from several policymakers, including Rajnath Singh, India's Defense Minister. We further aim to draw the policymakers' attention to a people's movement for adult literacy, as detailed in our book, Disruptive Literacy, a roadmap for urgent global action. This includes a comparative analysis of successful movements worldwide. It is essential that we prioritize the promotion and replication of the pedagogy of Alpha on a global scale. Having made a strong start on our journey of 1,000 miles, we now need all hands on deck to ensure that every last child and a vast majority of adults can learn the crucial skills of literacy and numeracy, and we can meet the SDG 4 targets before time.